Hi, I'm Dr. Yvette Kennedy, and I am a wife, the mother of four college graduates, all who received scholarships to go to college. Three of them received 10-year scholarships, which it valued over $2 million. So I'm very blessed in that area. I people used to ask me when they were young how they got so smart. And I just said they do what they're supposed to do in school. However, after I started getting grandchildren, I realized that maybe it was something that I did and not just the norm that they were just doing what they were supposed to do in school. You see, when they were younger with my first, um, I stayed home with her. And that was probably the best decision that I ever made because it helped to shape their love for learning. So I stayed home with them and I did things that were educational type things because I really didn't know how to do baby things. So everything that I would do with them had something to do with learning. So, and of course, learning on their level. So, once I got to have grandchildren, my oldest daughter said, Mom, you're doing something special with my daughter because she's excelling and when she goes around other children, she knows so much more than they do as far as academically. So with that being said, she says, you've got something, you've got a skill set, you've got something here. So, maybe you should share it with others. And when she said that, I started being very intentional with my grandchildren. I was very intentional to see just how much they could learn. And with them learning, it's like their brains were like little sponges. And then later on, I realized, okay, after I did some research, that they are like sponges because of anatomical ways that their brain is made. Their little brains make 1 million nerve connections per second. And with that being the case, you are really shaping, or I was really shaping, how they viewed learning when they were 6 months, starting at 6 months. So it's something that is very scientific, but it can be very fun. So I've talked in the past about what you can do for your babies ages 0 to 6 months as far as educational type fun things. So today I'm going to talk about the 6 to 18 month time frame. During this time, your babies are sitting up, they're crawling, they are starting to walk around close to that 9 to 12 month period. And they're just doing, their motor skills are increasing and they're becoming more like little people. So during this time, what you're going to do is you're going to continue with the alphabet puzzles that you have been doing that I talked about earlier. And this is one of the puzzles that I had shown, and you can get any puzzle like this. I prefer the ones that have the colors the same as the pieces. And I did see one on Amazon. So they do have them available, not exactly like this, but they're similar. So, and I prefer the ones that are larger with the larger alphabets. So you're going to continue with this. And a good thing, my grandson that I'm working with now is just this week, he started taking the alphabets out of the bag and actually putting them where they belonged. Man, I was so elated. It was such a good feeling because the process was working. I started with him at about 6 months, and he is almost 11 months now, and he has started already putting them in the right place. So that was that was very exciting for me. So you're going to continue with this though, okay? And you're going to do this every day. And then there are some other things that you can add to this. Now, I have added the 1 through 10 number puzzle. And with this particular puzzle, it has pictures. And with the pictures, each time he pulls out a number, we'll put it on the picture, but we'll count the picture, the number of pictures before we actually put the puzzle piece on. Okay, so I'll say if he pulls out an 8, I'll say, okay, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then he slides it over to the 8 number. So this puzzle has several different things, not only the number and shape recognition, but also the number of items within each number shape. Okay, so we've started with this as well. So we're doing the alphabet puzzle and we're doing the number puzzle, not all at the same time, at different sittings with them. Okay, now this is something that he has done himself. This is an abacus, and you have all of these things within their reach. So he has begun to get these, and he'll start with doing the little balls and playing with the balls and rolling them from side to side. Okay, and when he does that, I just go with him, and of course you are intentionally watching him to see, or her, to see what they are doing, and then you just go in and add in with it. So when he starts playing with it, I'll go over and hold his little finger and count for him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then at the end, he counts to 10, or we count together to 10, and he sees how this works. Now, of course, he's not really uh, good with it, or doesn't know exactly how to do it, and his motor skills are not that good. That's why I guide his hand and have him do that. Okay, so this is the abacus, and he explored and found this on his own. It was in the learning environment in our little area, and he found it and he loves to play with it. All right, so that's the abacus that has been introduced, and he started doing this at 10 months. This came in a 3-component box, and he is learning now to actually put these on. During the 6 to 18-month period, he is beginning to, or your child will be able to actually stack these. Okay, we have also started with a shapes puzzle. And we get these, I teach him the shapes, and then he will slide them in. I teach him the color, the pieces match the colors on the puzzle. And I tell him when he pulls it out of the bag, let me see here. For those of you who this is your first time watching, I store all the puzzle pieces in these clear containers, and I store them in Ziploc bags so that I can keep up with them. Okay, so what he will do is I'll instruct him to pick out one at a time. And he'll pick out a piece. And when he picks that piece out, I'll tell him what it is. I'll say like, oh, that's a blue trapezoid. Blue trapezoid. And then I will point to where it goes, and he'll have it with his little fingers, and then eventually he will put it in the right place. Okay? So this is teaching him not only shapes, but also colors and fine motor skills by taking it out of the bag one at a time. Okay, and at the end, we put them back into the bag. Okay, so we started with that, and you can do this from the 6 to 18 months. Another shapes toy that I have is this. It's a little box, and you can buy these almost anywhere, at Walmart, Amazon, wherever. And what he does now is he just will hold this in his hand and just slide it over. But what I do is I help him, and when he gets it close, I kind of help him to guide it in, and then whoop, it disappears. Okay, so that's exciting to him. Okay, so those are the new activities that he is doing now. Those are the shapes and the numbers. Okay, now we still read. Okay, you still want to read to him every day. I read to him Brown Bear, and if you don't have this book, you can just put it in the comments. And what I'll do is I'll go through and read it I'll do a reading of the book until you can get it. And then you can go through and just go through that with your child watching it on the screen. So just put that in the comments if you'd like for me to do that. Now, this is a new book that I'm introducing to him. Will You Wear a Blue Hat? And this is a very good book because it has different colors, and it gives the child a choice, and it goes over different clothing items. So you have the blue hat, and the child gets a choice because you're asking him, and then almost of them he says yes. Okay, and it goes through and gives different clothing items that he is learning and different colors. So this is one that we are starting now. Another thing that he has gravitated towards is a learning. Let me see if I can get it for you. It's a desk, a learning desk, and it's an activity desk that's called Explore and Write. And this is it. He's tall enough to where he can stand, and he's 10 months, okay? And he just started going to this, pulling up on it, and trying to do the different things that are on it. So I'm just sharing with you the things that we do as we do them that you can incorporate with your child too. Now this has a little pad, and it has a pen. So this pad is for writing. It gives it gives feedback. Let's write. And he's also trying to hit the dots. Down like this. He tries to hit them. Of course, he doesn't hit them exactly yet, but he is learning to do that. So this is the next stage for him. Touch and learn. Let's play and again later. And it is Explore and Write activity set. And we've had this for about 6 years. But it's very safe. It's plastic, and he likes it. Okay. All right. Another book that we use is Eric Carle's ABC book. And the reason that I like this book is because it has the ABCs, all of them, and you can sing them. It has the capital or uppercase, and it has the lowercase on the back. Let's see. Has the lowercase on the back part. Okay. So each letter has an uppercase, and then the word at the bottom has a lowercase, and then it has the picture. So when you're purchasing books, just you may not find this exact book, or but if you're purchasing a book, a good type of book would be to have one that has the uppercase and the lowercase, along with the complete spelling of the word. And we do go through and spell the word when we go through this book. Okay. Then it has, this book is good because it's a variety of ways that it opens. Okay. So this one, you've got your A here, and then you've got your B here, and I'll go over B, the sound B, and then bird, and then show him the bird, and maybe even say the sound that the bird makes. And then I'll spell it BIRD. Okay. And then I'll do the same thing with the C. And then we go to D. Okay. And I spell that and there. Now, again, if you would like for me to do separate videos of reading these books so that it'll be full screen and you can go over it with your child, I'd love to do that. But I'll only do it if it's wanted. Okay? And you can just put it in the comments. Okay, now, the last live that I did, I had Apples and Pie, at Apples and Pie, and she asked me a question about ADHD. I could not answer that question from experience because none of my children had that, but what I wanted to do was give a reference for that. Anyone whose child has been diagnosed with ADHD, there are some things that you can read that may help you. So this is one book, Eat This and Live by Don Colbert, MD, okay? And many times what we feed our children will cause them to have different things that go on, especially a lot of sugar, and especially things with a lot of dye in them, because those things will make our children not as attentive as they should be. So anyone who is interested in that, I did look it up, and okay, this is the book again, and they have special diets. And there you have it. They will talk about ADHD and the diet that your child should have. Okay? So again, this is a very, very, very good book. So this is a reference for all of your parents who have children that have those particular conditions. And many times they are related to what they eat. Okay. Someone else asked me about asthma, and this talks about asthma as well in that same section for a special diet. Okay. All right. Then there's this other book that is, oh man, it is very, very, very good. And it is You're Not Sick, you're thirsty. Okay? So many times we are dehydrated and we don't even know it. So, with that being the case, this particular book tells you a lot about how water affects the different parts of the body. And while it's affecting those different parts of the body, it is also, if you are deprived of water, it causes certain conditions to occur. So, this is another very good book. Okay. All right. Got another book for you. And it is, I just got this book, My Brown Skin. Many times when my children were small, I didn't have books with people that looked like them. Now there are books that are being written that do that. So this is one that I found, and it's really, really good. It's a Hay Carter series, and it's My Brown Skin. And I liked it because I have many books for girls, but this one is targeted towards boys. Okay. Now, songs. Songs. There are two songs I want to give you that you can start at this age. And one of them is the finger song. Okay. So what you do is you put your hand behind your back and it's Where is Thumb Man? And this is how it goes. Where is Thumb Man? Where is Thumb Man? Here I am, here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run and play, run and play. Then this is it. Where is Pointer Man? Where is Pointer Man? Here I am, here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run and play, run and play. Where is Middleman? Where is Middleman? Here I am, here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run and play, run and play. Where is Ringman? Where is Ringman? Here I am, here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run and play, run and play. Where is Pinky? Where is Pinky? Here I am, here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run and play, run and play. Where is family? Where is family? Here we are, here we are. How are you today, sirs? Very well, we thank you. Run and play, run and play. Okay, so with this song, it stimulates the child's curiosity. Okay, it also teaches them their fingers, which is biology, anatomy. Okay, it teaches them what each finger is called, and it helps with their dexterity and their motor skills. So those are several things that this little finger song does for your child. And of course, they won't be able to put the fingers each time, but you are teaching them. And the way that you do this, I usually will do these songs when they're in their high chair at uh, meal time when they're eating. So when they're eating, you just can they're still, and you don't have to hold them, or you don't have to try to keep them attentive. They have to be attentive to you because they're sitting there in the chair. So you're right in front of them doing these songs, and they they like it. So the other song that I wanted to show you is an action song pretty much, and the name of it is Higher Higher. Okay, and it teaches them up. Okay, and it teaches them down. Okay, okay. So the words are higher, 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 higher. Lift Jesus higher. And then it says, let's go lower, 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 stomp Satan lower. Then it goes super, 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 supernatural power. Then it goes lift Jesus higher, stomp Satan lower, supernatural power. Okay, this is how it goes. Higher, 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 higher. Lift Jesus higher. Let's go lower, 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 lower. Stomp, stomp, Satan lower. Let's go super, 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 super. Supernatural power. Lift, lift Jesus higher. Stomp, stomp Satan lower. Super, supernatural power. Supernatural power. And then that's that song. So those are the two songs. I've given you several books. I've given you also some reading materials on eating and drinking plenty of fluids. So I hope that you have gotten something out of this live that will help you with your 6 month to 18-month old.